So for a long time, it used to be said that if you were a child or if you were an adolescent and you were still growing, that it wasn't a very good idea to do resistance training, weight training, because it was going to be too much load for the body to handle. And one of the principal ideas here was that the load going through the growth plates would actually stop the growth plates from functioning correctly and maybe damage them. And this would impede, therefore, growth. And the reality, though, however, is not at all. And there was a research paper here showing that basically this doesn't happen. It's perfectly safe to do resistance training, whether you're a child, whether you're an adolescent, either way. Obviously, the key here is to be doing it under supervision and in the correct ways. The correct ways as in progressively doing the right technique, which again goes without saying really with an adult or with a child. So effectively, this is something which is also interesting, as they actually were saying that it may even assist with growth. Now, we're not saying doing resistance training is going to make you, grow to 10 foot tall or anything like that. But if anything, rather than hinder, it's probably going to help. And certainly what I would say is that the benefits of doing resistance training and strength training when you're at this sort of age is actually highly beneficial, because if you think about sort of anyone who's doing things in more of an unnatural way as an adult, what are they trying to do? They're trying to basically use growth hormone and steroids to boost testosterone levels to enable them to, get a better response from that resistance training. Well, if you think about it, when you're an adolescent, you've got them in spades. As a child, you've not necessarily got the testosterone, but you've certainly got the growth hormone. So there is definitely a lot of benefits, therefore, to younger age doing it. And although this isn't borne out in science, I would say I have a fairly strong belief that what you did when you were younger as a sport actually does carry over to being an adult, as in you can somewhat build some affinity towards certain things. So you can perhaps build a certain body type almost from that. I mean, I used to be a swimmer, and I basically find that now as an adult doing resistance training that I struggle to bring up the legs in terms of size and strength. And this was because swimming is known to be at least 75% upper body based, and I didn't do many other things other than that. So I think that's from like the muscle memory effect, if you like, from that training from being a child and an adolescent. So certainly resistance training is going to help to build high bone density, like I say, help with maybe growth, certainly help with strength, certainly have a lot of carryover into other sports. And we know that obviously the sport has a lot of benefits in many ways, not just the sporting and physical, but obviously there's a lot of teamwork, determination things, so lots of good things for kids to be getting involved in. But anyway, it's an interesting one because, like I say, a lot of people will be like, oh, you're too young to be doing this sort of stuff. But the reality is it's not true. And we know that the loads of jumping and landing and running are extreme in themselves. So if they can do that and no one goes, oh, you're a child, you shouldn't do that, then there is literally no reason at all. In fact, there are more benefits than anything else to be doing it at a younger age. Obviously, you've got to make it fun depending on their age. They've got to be doing things correctly and supervised. But aside from that, there's literally no problem with it at all. So anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time.